All right, so let's go over this one controller stuff. So this will be kind of like an introduction tutorial because there's so much more to getting a controller set up. But first thing that you're going to want to do is uncheck this SDL, and this only applies to if you have an Xbox One. If you have a PlayStation controller, you have to use something like Rewased to convert your PlayStation controller to an Xbox One emulator. So if you can't do that, then I don't think that this works. Like you can't emulate the 360, the Xbox 360 controller. But yeah, you'll uncheck the SDL. This should already be unchecked, but you'll uncheck that as well. And then you will checkbox the D input. And then you'll go in here and you'll clear the mapping. I'm not going to clear the mapping because this just takes forever. But yeah, you'll clear the mapping and you'll want to make sure this is on shared. Now you can make a profile, but if you make a profile, you also have to go into the game properties and you have to set up your input profile. So we're just going to be using shared for simplicity's sake. But yeah, once you get every single button mapped, this one's going to look weird. D input 0 plus Z axis. So can't explain what that's all about, but that is unrelated. Now, once you get this fully set up, I don't know why, but the first time you get in the game, and of course you have to like shut down, restart, and do this for both of them. And you have to make sure that your D input 0 is your same controller like for both of them. Sometimes the PCSX2 will consider one of these, like let's say one of these is D input 0. This box might consider it D input 1 for whatever reason, especially if you're like unchecking these SDLs and X inputs and stuff like that. It's going to assign an ID to your controller. So, long story short, if that's all well and good, when you get in the game, I don't know why, but the left analog joystick will just make you run around like this and you'll think it's broken. No, you just have to go back and remap your joystick right here. So once you get that all set up, restarted, then basically what it does is it makes this controller go to this box the moment you click on it. And this is how the HID keyboard works out of the box. Like if I click on this, then my typing keyboard only works with that. So it's essentially turning your controller into the same thing. And then I am also using auto hotkey with like a simple script. I did just use ChatGPT to write it, and basically the script is running in the background, and all I'm doing is just pressing, this is set to F1, that's F2, and then I have like more boxes for like F3 and F4 that will highlight to that, and then I map my controller with Rewased to, so like I'm holding my one controller and I'm going between the boxes, so I'm playing this guy and then I go to this guy. And then additionally, if you have macros set up in PCSX2, like if you go to macros, then you can have this one's like a heel tick, so every 725 frames when you press F11 they'll do a heel tick. And then this one is just to like make potions, and that's my bracket left. So on my controller, I can just press that button and he'll start making macros. And then let's say I want to like heal him. So then I would trigger that one. Wait, there we go. And then I can go and be doing stuff right here and the healer's healing, but then maybe I might need to heal somebody else. Maybe I might need to heal myself. Then I can go and heal myself. And it's as simple as that. And I don't know why, for some reason, people really have trouble getting D input to work. Like the specific model needs to be updated with PCSX2. So I feel like that was one that I've helped people with. The Emu is locked at this specific PCSX2 version, so it does work on the one that they grant access to give you. But if it ever doesn't work, then usually it's either like restarting it, or if you're still controlling the same characters, usually it's relating to the SDL still being locked in. And another factor actually that I didn't mention here is there is a portable.ini file. And I feel like actually that is the one that everybody's had trouble with. So I can't show you my file tree, but you do have to search and dig up information about a portable.ini file, because that, I think that is like the biggest reason why this wouldn't work, is because without the portable.ini file, then all of your settings are tied together for multiple boxes. So it's just one file kind of existing in your program files. That, yes, that is absolutely the biggest issue with doing this that I found, aside from just restarting it and whatnot. So you will have to research doing the portable.ini file, and I'll probably make another video for that. But once you get a portable.ini file, then you can have separate settings for each box. You may actually have to reset the settings for each box now that it's tied to its own individual settings. So just keep that in mind. But that is the gist of it, in terms of just, it's as simple as putting D input on and mapping this, and just making sure you have, you know, an Xbox One controller or an Xbox One emulator, such as like Rewased, because I myself, I have a PlayStation 4 controller, but I'm able to do this because it's emulating my PS4 controller as an Xbox One controller.